Okay, hello, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. You can all unmute now if you now. So, Jeff, aka Godless Scummer, welcome to another one of the Twitter streams. I'm pretty sure it is 10:30 a.m. EST, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was a bit confused there. Just waiting. I believe Jenny Morgan's supposed to be joining us as well at some points. Just waiting on Jenny. So we haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks, but we've decided because we've gone after a lot of like the religious types and so on these Twitter streams. We've decided that we're going to take a little page out of Kent Hovind's book, actually.
Yeah. Obviously, we need to whack an atheist because they are stupid.
That's just the best.
Yeah.
That is the best Kent Hovind impression ever.
Absolutely. I think say only Dr. Josh and Digital Hammurabi and maybe Gutsick Gibbon have ring beaten.
Yeah.
But Ring's Kent impression is very, very good.
You know who Kent Hovind reminds me of? It reminds me of Kermit the Frog sucking dick.
Actually, I forget the name of the guy now, but it was an American football coach. What do you say? Playoffs? That's what Hovind's voice reminds me of. I forget the name of the guy now, but that guy goes to go, playoffs? Don't talk to me about playoffs.
The ball's never quite dropped all the way.
Yeah. Ring. Say a pine tree can't give birth to a chicken in Kent Hovind style. I can die happy then.
Well, obviously. You see, if you weren't stupid, then you'd know that a pine tree can obviously never give birth to a chicken.
That is awesome.
We are doing 2 hours of Ring's Kent Hovind impression now.
Why not? Why not? What a good stream that'll be.
Yeah. So it's Whack an Atheist week, and the atheists we're going to be whacking is one David Silverman. Brief. I suppose a little bit of a brief history. This is the former president of American Atheists, who was fired a couple of years ago, amongst a whole number of allegations. And I'm going to set a little ground rule for this couple of ground rules sort of streams. We'll try not to get into any of the details of those allegations because
Jeff, it was only one allegation. To be fair, it was lack of confidence. Nick Fish, the current president.
There's a number of things, Dog, which I'm not. There's a whole number of allegations against.
Oh yeah, but I was on about what he was fired for was basically lack of confidence. He wasn't fired for the numerous sexual allegations and money, whatnot.
Yeah, those are the things I'm going to ask. We try to keep out of them. Now, of course, obviously, since Silverman has re-emerged, Silverman has gone on very much an anti-feminist sort of tirade. I'd be fair to say.
Okay, I will only agree to this if moving forward we can call him the man, the myth, the misogyny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and of course, David Silverman likes to tweet a lot of these things. So we're going to have a little look through David Silverman's Twitter. Now, I'm going to be drinking. I'm going to say alcohol is not essential or required for this stream. I just think it's going to help.
Yeah.
Is
It's
what I'm
appropriate.
saying.
Well, thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, I'm just saying it might help.
It's 9:37 in the morning. Huh?
Yeah, I can get
Yeah.
away with it. It's the middle of the afternoon for me, so
Not necessarily. Drink.
I do have one thing to get out of the way first, if I may.
yep.
Regarding the allegations, allegedly, David Silverware's forking has got him in trouble.
Yes, I love it.
I'm sorry, I had
great.
to use that pun somewhere.
Had to be done. Had to be done.
They're
So,
going with his giant.
I know,
the
Ring,
giant,
you've been,
Arizona.
Ring, I know you've been doing a little bit of research on this week. I believe.
Yeah.
I've gone back to about I don't know, about just towards the end of the last month, pretty much. I don't know if there's anything you've spotted a bit further back that you feel may need addressing.
When I was scrolling through a few hours ago, I only got as far as like beginning of this month.
Okay.
So,
seems like
I only got like a couple days back.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try and probably mainly go through the things that he's tweeted himself. Occasionally, there's going to be some of the retweets but I'm only going to do it if they're sort of fairly well-known people kind of thing. So, let's go and have a little look. We'll find a decent starting point for Mr. Silverman, shall we say? Let's find out. Let's find out what we may agree with or what we may not agree with his Twitter, and I think that most of it's going to be in the latter category. So, first one I got here is CRT, which is critical race theory, is destroying our schools. Inequity doesn't imply racism. It implies some cultures don't value education as much as others. Ergo, inequality. It's not hard in punishing kids who work hard because other kids don't. It's despicable. And, there's a response underneath this, so I might have to read at some point. Because I've just seen who it is.
Okay. So here's the thing. Well, I kind of have to agree with a little bit of David Silverman has a little bit of a point. Me being the nuanced person on this panel, but not the point he's trying to make.
Yeah.
Because the point he's trying to make is just bullshit.
Yeah.
But so some cultures that is dog whistling, but in a way he's kind of right, because American culture does not value education as much as others. Because the way the American education system is set up is everything is funded via property taxes. Yeah. So if you happen to live in a wealthy area, you get a good education. If you happen to live in a less well-off area, you get, maybe a moldy old textbook from the 50s, and that's it.
Yeah, but there's the quality of the actual educator too. I mean, I went to some really, crappy public schools, but we had teachers that gave a damn. And then, there were private schools where the teachers didn't care. They were just there for the double paycheck. And then how are we defining education? Because education doesn't just happen in school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of education that happens outside of school. Probably more so. I probably learned more outside of school than I did inside, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But they say to become an educator is a calling, isn't it? It's you want to teach, but life experience is far more proactive than the education itself. I received at school anyway, which is mainly religion, prayers before and after every class. Yeah, brilliant.
I was going to say that there is a response to this. Not feel that it needs to be read out because it's from you, Dog.
Oh.
Do you mind? It's up to you. Do you want me to read this out or not? Because I think this is
Go ahead, mate.
This tweet, but I think in general this could just apply as a general thing to Silverman. To be honest, the Dog here says it's sad to see someone I once valued and respected fall into such disrepute. Trying to remain relevant is a tough business, even harder when you're living under such a dark cloud. Tweeting dumb shit will keep you relevant in the wrong way. You should stop tweeting altogether. Fair point,
well,
I can't argue with that.
Well, to be fair, in my I was religiously injured as a child, and after religious injury, your goal after that is to find out why. And it led me to David Silverman years ago when he was which I did respect the guy. I thought his annihilation of Frank Turek just put him in awe to me. I just thought, what a brilliant guy. But he's sort of gone into a downward slope where power is relevant in it, really. And to have power is he showing his true colours now? What he always was. I know he's Jewish, obviously, but he always had that. He was pretty good at the way he spoke and how he annihilated his opposition as an atheist. But he's sort of he's had I think he's had a breakdown. You've had all the difference on this show of yours. You've had different types of tweeters. You've had your Sorbo, who has to be relevant for his career, for his life. He has to remain famous and relevant. You've had your Marjorie Taylor Greens, who are just fucking idiots. And you've had David Silverman, who I would have thought to be an atheist in America, and especially president of American Atheists, is quite a prestigious title to have. And to remain that relevant, go on.
I mean, you could probably say that during the one time, Silverman, Silverman still is trying to be a bit of a firebrand, but now it seems to be like an anti-left firebrand is what he seems to be the path that Silverman's gone.
But this is what I said. Yeah, is he showing his true colours, or when I saw him on that YouTube show with Steve McRae. And I get on with Steve, but that clip was cringeworthy. I would say from a psychological point of view that it's just a guy that's had a breakdown and not someone who's trying to remain relevant. He's just had a breakdown of some sort where he doesn't give a shit anymore.
Also, Dog, how are your ears? Because that whistle was pretty loud in that tweet.
Yeah, I get brought up a lot in tweets. Why can't they just talk about cats?
Because cats would just slap you in the face before you even finish talking. Like,
Yeah.
I was in the side chat of Grumpy Old Dude's stream earlier, and I said, "Look, cats are the Satan's minions and spies."
I'm going to go back and watch. Ed, I'll watch that later. I promise. I've meant to catch that live. If you're still in the chat, I will catch that later. Okay, shall we move on to the next thing he's tweeting here? Things are slowing down finally at CPAC 2021. Got to say, this has been my favourite time at CPAC. Debates are plenty, very little hostility, lots of camaraderie amongst people who disagree. Hear that, Wokis? We disagree but find common ground without insults like it once was. CPAC. Seriously?
I'm not even.
Seriously.
All I can get out of CPAC was the golden statue. That's it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Silverman can tell us how golden beef tastes like.
Yes. It tastes shiny.
Oh no.
I find it very difficult to believe that there was a lot of debate and disagreement amongst CPAC. I really find that difficult to believe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or as some Republicans, started calling it TPAC.
Yeah.
Yep. Good old Tea Party. He's like, I'm not starting my own party. Of course he's going to.
No, he doesn't need to start his own party because he's already taken over the Republicans.
Is it a party or a cult?
It's his party already.
6 of 1.
Yeah. But Trump will disappear in the end anyway.
Yep.
He's in his 70s and he lives off hamburgers. How long's he going to last?
Not long.
I mean, who's to say that this isn't just like some sort of chrysalis before Trump Thulu emerges?
Oh no!
Well, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people. Jeff has annihilated on these shows that are ready to fill Trump's shoes. Totally idiotic, QAnon, famous idiots.
Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene would be the obvious ones, who we could worry about, stepping into that kind of role.
Even Kevin Sorbo.
Oh God!
Recently, he's changed his mannerism, hasn't he? He's trying to tell jokes for a living now on Twitter, which is just so not funny.
It's funny that his jokes seem to always involve straw man arguments.
Of course.
Actually, I'd say Sorbo's probably more likely than Green or Boebert because a big section of the evangelical right, which is a big section of the right, thinks that people like Boebert and Green should just get back in the kitchen or in the bed.
Well, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's opposing all these anti-life things and going pro-life when she's had 3 abortions herself with her numerous affairs and whatnot. So
pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly.
Last I heard, what they kicked her. Is that the one they kicked off all of those House commissions? Marjorie Taylor Greene, all the cabinet positions or something.
Yeah, who's literally basically just sitting there and collecting a paycheck because she's not on any committees.
Yep. And she was like, "Oh well, it means I can get back to working for the people." I'm like, "What the?" She's the one
who tried to impeach Biden, like in Biden's first day in office.
Yeah.
For what?
Because he's a Democrat, probably. That's
for
about
being
it.
old.
But hasn't she wanted to bring some of the Democrats the gallows, basically. To be fair, I'm basically glad that I don't live in fucked up America, and I live here in the UK with sane old Boris Johnson.
Yeah, but Boris Johnson's American.
We got such sane, we got such sane conservative assholes running our country. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't Boris Johnson American?
We're basically living in the same shit without guns.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson, I believe, has got some Turkish ancestry. He found that out when he did that show, Who Do You Think You Are? I think that surprised him a little bit. I'm just waiting for one day on Who Do You Think They Are to have someone who's like a real far right neo-Nazi type do their background check and find out that they're Jewish.
No, but like most people have fear of that Turkish area because we came down from the Caucasus Mountains. If you're Caucasian, so.
But this wasn't even like a DNA. This was actually something he found in his own family tree, like his own, going back through records and stuff. So, okay, there's a few. Okay,
well, I mean, your royal family's German, so.
Yep.
I'm Greek.
Coburg and Gupta.
we haven't actually had an English royal family since I think
Matilda?
Really, Edward the Confessor, I think probably. If you are tracing the English back to being like Saxons or whatever, well, Harold Godwinson probably.
Yeah. But you've heard the argument about how they're not the true royal family, and the real king died in Australia.
Oh, has he died now, Michael Hastings?
Yeah, I think he's passed on now.
Because they did the I know I don't mind because I know we're veering off topic a little with this, but I don't mind. But I remember Tony Robinson actually found him and interviewed him, and he knew that he had some ancestry to the Plantagenets, but didn't realise that there was they'd found that there was this bit of research that suggested actually he should be sitting on the throne right now, and his whole kind of attitude was like, it was just a big laugh to it. It was good, but it was like a big laugh to him. Like wait till I tell the lads down the pub about this kind of thing. So anyway, let's get back to more. Back to more. Okay. Some atheist organizations. Oh, okay. It looks like this is part of a thread, actually. But okay, so I'll do this. And he's retweeting something from Atheists for Liberty, which seems to be the group that I think employs him now. For all those who shit on my efforts to secularize the right, you can apologize anytime. Also, you're welcome. How would you like a choice of secular parties to vote for? Thanks for coming to Atheists for Liberty. And then he goes on to say, some atheist organizations criticize this effort. I invite you to see how small-minded they're thinking, how narrow and bigotry-led. Conservatism is getting seculars as Dems and their atheists because wokeism is dumbass. Right? Okay. A few things I could possibly say about this.
Well, I'm pretty sure the fundagelicals will have a nice warm steak for you when their theocracy is established.
Yeah, I don't know many.
First on the block.
I will say, trying to sort of spread secularism through the right isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think the idea that we could get get like this like hardcore religious evangelicalism out of kind of conservative politics wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't think I find it very difficult to think that Silverman and his group are actually really making any headway with this.
Because the American right in any sane country would be their extreme right, while our quote unquote left would be the right to center.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Go on, Dog.
I was going to say, if he had tweeted that 4 years ago, we'd all be in agreement. When he was head of American Atheists, we'd agree with him. But now, obviously, it's flawed because he has become flawed himself.
Also, note what the top percentage of that graph was. Election security.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's go back up. Yeah,
election
integrity. Okay.
Yeah,
constitutional. Yeah.
Yeah, and given what conspiracy theories are spreading like wildfire through the American conservatives.
Do they know how minuscule voter fraud actually is?
Yeah.
But the thing here is that thing. I don't know what he's trying to gain from that, because these are all big. Maybe because he's saying that pro-life isn't as big of an issue to the right as it once was.
That's exactly what he's saying.
That is not necessarily an indication in a drop of religiosity.
Also, also as a former fundagelical.
So I'm going to put this up on. I'm going to put this thing up on.
I love that. I have to clip that word.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a former fundagelical, okay, election integrity, we know it. That's got to do with the QAnon, stolen election conspiracy theory. Constitutional rights, that's probably, literally talking about the, freedom of religion, which fundagelicals see as the freedom to Christian religion, as it's practiced in the, immigration and the border wall. We don't want brown people here. Reopening the economy means, just, essentially eugenics via COVID.
Yeah.
Second Amendment means I want to blast away at whoever looks suspicious.
Yep.
And, so like none of that, like the only one that might be, like interpreted as pro-atheist, or pro-secular could be constitutional rights, but fundagelicals see that issue as their right to openly discriminate because their book says they can.
Here's the things here that you could say are more, not less religious driven: national security, foreign policy, taxes, budget spending, reopening the economy. Even those are all. I mean, technically, you could say necessarily immigration, border wall. Being secular doesn't mean you're not. Doesn't necessarily mean you're not bigoted against immigrants. As the UK is a good example of. But I find that very difficult there to see how he has made the jump that this is evidence that the right is becoming more secular in America, and the even bigger leap that it's him and his group that are responsible for that.
And it's what's really happening. Oh, huge fucking asterisk. I.e., three kinds of lies, damnable lies, and statistics.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can massage the data a lot of ways to make whatever kind of graph you want and still have it be technically valid. But if I'm reading that graph correctly, what it looks like is,
try to bring it back again, that graph. Hold on. Let me reshare that.
as the conservative wing of American politics has become the Trump wing of American politics, it's become less single issue, i.e. abortion voting, and more bigotry and dog whistles.
Yeah.
Well, that's it with Trump. You can't get more anti-religious than Trump, although he claims it, and all the evangelicals, they love him for it. Trump is, anyone who looks at Trump just knows he is not religious one little bit. But isn't church and state meant to be separated, as they say?
Also,
we know that's bollocks.
Respondents were permitted to select 3.
Yeah. This is just very. This is. I mean, to me, this is. I know we spent quite a bit of time on this, but this is a really, really dishonest take here by not just Silverman but Atheists for Liberty as a whole to make out here that they and what I'm not seeing here is the actual evidence that they themselves are the ones making the difference here. Now, as I said, I don't necessarily think it's bad to see some people who are a bit more conservative coming away from religion and that driving their politics a little less. I think that's definitely a good thing. This is perhaps why I can get on with like Chris Attlee, atheist pastor, who he's very open. He is very conservative politically, but I can kind of even though politically I just disagree with him on about 90% of stuff. I can kind of have a dialogue with him. But some of the people who would be spouting some of the nonsense on this list, are not people I could have a reasonable conversation with, whether they are die-hard evangelicals or not. But I would not mind betting, if you think like election integrity being the big thing. Now, bear in mind that is something that's been whipped up very, very recently by Trump and. Not a lot of the people. I wouldn't mind betting a lot of the people who have picked those top 2 are evangelicals.
Hey, just find me 11,000 votes.
But basically what I see in that graph isn't, pro-life being, less. Yeah. It isn't a result of the right becoming more secular. It's the result of the election conspiracy theory and bigotry being more open bigotry being more acceptable amongst the right.
And another thing I think that might be worth mentioning as well, because I know that this has been brought up on a number of streams that I've been on recently, like several of Jen's streams, for example. Do you notice an issue that is not on that list?
Healthcare.
Well, but another thing that is a big trigger point for the right, especially considering right in America, is trans issues.
Yeah,
because that's a bigger. I think that arguably is a bigger battleground for them now than the gay rights or even the pro-life argument.
Yeah.
Because they at the moment it's not necessarily a battle that they've. It's kind of almost in a way you're seeing this that they, you're getting the like she say anti-trans people are focusing on that, and if they can get a win on that, then they can start going after gay people again. Or they can start going after women who have abortion.
But at least from what I've seen on the right, it's less of a loud issue, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's more of the our state legislators are just gonna pass their anti-trans bills.
Yeah.
On the quiet, and then
maybe it's just that I've run into so many goddamn fucking turf types on Twitter recently that maybe I think it's a bigger issue than maybe it is in people's heads. But I mean, I'm not saying it's not an important issue. I think it's a very important issue because, you know, maybe I'm thinking, maybe I'm being a bit isolated in my own bubble and have seen, you know, like the big.
Also, you know, that was during, you know, that was during and before CPAC was that graph.
Yeah,
and a lot of the you know, anti-trans stuff has been popping up after CPAC ended.
Yeah. Well, you got to bear in mind as well that trans issues is fairly new, and you know it's not going to happen overnight. Equality or change or whatever, however you want to label it, because even I'm guilty of you know, avoiding pronouns and things like that just to stay safe, which is wrong with me. I know it's just ignorance, but you know, eventually all this will all come to a head, and trans issues will not be an issue. You know, it will be an accepted part of society. Yeah. But I think a lot of people are trying. I think it's going to happen overnight. It's like Kevin Sorbo said. Sorry to keep bringing him up, but he just plays on my mind. He's such a Ted. He said, well, when he said Biden's been in power for 3 days now, why is COVID still here? That sort of, you know, ignorance that goes that people see and find.
Ignorance. Yeah.
I think we're years away for full acceptance of trans and people being who they want to be or who they are.
In regards to the American, you know, right, especially the fundagelical right,
I need to step out.
It's not so much the, you know, it's not so much the acceptance of trans people, it's the eradication.
But, you know,
this is religion, though. This is religion getting involved with it. Religion slows everything down, and if you want to look at it that way, then Eve was trans, Jesus was trans.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it from their point of view, the virgin birth, and obviously Eve was made from the bone of a man. And this is where they foul up themselves and they shoot themselves in the foot. But it's just too strong at the moment, religion. Thankfully, it's fallen at a faster rate than was supposed to be. Religion was going to last forever. And it will in a way, but hopefully not this silly Christian and Muslim religions that we have nowadays that are just ruining the way women and men and humans are treated as people.
I mean, there are chill sects, but you know but because they're the chill sects, you know, people don't ever hear anything from them.
No, they don't. Well, yeah. It's like, you know, with the whole trans issues, like, it's never been an issue for me, especially with the bathroom, because firstly, we don't have separate bathrooms at home, and secondly, do you know how many little boys and girls I had to cart to the damn toilet when I was always on, like, you know, watch duty of our, like, 15 freaking kids between all the nieces and nephews, and I just carted them all into the girls' room, you know? I mean, you know, I mean, most of those little boys were, like, maybe, like, 5, but, you know, what am I going to do, you know? So it's just, it's not an issue for me at all, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is it. It's just a vanity thing where no one wants to see you poop. We all do it.
Exactly. Everybody poops.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you're a naughty child.
Largely, I think the whole separate bathrooms is a holdover from Puritanism.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I don't think we'll be able to let go, at least not in any of our living lifetimes.
Yeah.
But That's why I do say there is one kind of bathroom bill that I would support.
Mm-hmm.
One that mandates a unisex option.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, that way non-binary people, you know, don't have to, like, you know, worry about either bathroom they go into, or you know, if you've got a dad who needs to help his little girl with the toilet, or
exactly. Yeah. It's just so Puritan, like you say. We've all got one or the other, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like there's anything magical down there, you know.
I can understand women's plumbing is obviously a lot more complex than a man, especially during every 28 days. You know, women probably need that extra bit of privacy. So I'm all for, like Ring said, the unisex toilets
option.
with cubicles.
Exactly.
So a woman on her period can go and lock herself in, do her business, end of.
And Junie, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to say, as a parent, yes, bringing my daughter to the men's restroom, it's just like, yeah, sometimes it feels weird, but like it's like one of those things that, you know, just like Alone was saying, bringing the children into the bathroom, it's like, you know, it's the opposite sex, so why does it matter at the moment?
Yeah.
And then on top of the, I mean, other than the abortion and trans rights that could have been placed onto that list there, what about the separation of church and state? That's also an issue as well.
Yeah, that's never, as long as religion's there, that is never going to happen. I don't think that'll happen. I think church will always be involved with government. Even in the UK here, it's, you know, it's a tax sort of haven for the church. We have the Church of England, but we have our door knockers as well, our American religions. Here we have the Mormons and the Jehovah's and the Witnesses and whatnot.
I call them God botherers. The God botherers are at the door.
Well, that's where my name come about, was Dog Botherer on Twitter. With the capital G, of course. Because of these door knockers. But I don't think church and state will never be separated until it's reformed, and the church needs to be reformed. It needs to. It has this need to get involved in everything because it's a business. Religion is a business now. It's got nothing to do with it with a deity or what's out there. No one really cares about that anymore. It's to do with filling your pockets with as much money as you can. And I find religion in disrepute of this code of conduct where they're just bad in all aspects of society and life. And I shouldn't say all, because I know a lot of churches, they do a lot for people. A lot of them, they do help, and they get involved with.
Sorry to cut you off there, Dog, but should we get back to
Silverman?
Yeah.
It's another one here, though. I think it's on a similar thing to what he's saying. The last one. There's nothing better than knowing your naysayers are fuming at your success. The right, with all its problems, is much more open to us now. The naysayers with these fake names to bitch behind their keyboards. Losses. I think he meant to say losers or something. But this is actual progress. This is real activism. And I like the fact that what makes a name fake by a certain badger there.
I think this is what being a useful idiot looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Or
being somebody who's trying to represent.
I love that
he's learn. It's about facts. Like you've already said bitch in there. So, I mean, sorry to swear, but damn.
Fuck all of you.
All of you. This is that is real activism, David. Yeah, that's really achieving shit.
Yeah, especially from someone whose whose handle is Mr. Atheist Pants.
Yeah. And like somebody listen to this, right? Okay. Someone replied here, you should know very well that some of us need anonymity. It's not a choice. Yawn, maybe a decade ago. David, right now, I'm going to say something about this. I'm going to have the first rant about this one. No, absolutely not. There are a lot of people that still cannot be out about being atheist for whatever reason. It's not something that you and your bloody activist group have made go away. Certainly not the group he's involved with now. It's why a lot of people I know in this community, there's a lot of people I know in this very community, I don't know their real first names or real names. I'm out with my own name. I'm in a lucky position, I suppose. I'm in a place where religion is not such a big deal. I'm around people where religion is not a big deal. I wasn't brought up religiously. I can be out and okay. I use the handle Godless Scum, but my real name is very much out there. But there's for a lot of people that is not an option. They feel they need to. They still feel they need to be able to talk about this or whatever. This is why they'll get on like forums or start YouTube channels or whatever. They may do it under a handle and may not even show their face on. May not even show their face on camera or anything. Or like one case I can think of, someone in the community who even hides their voice still. Because it is not an option for them to be out and proud as being an atheist. Just the same as a lot of people can't be out about being gay or being trans or something. It's David, you're a fucking idiot.
I mean, heck, like out of this panel, I think only one person on this panel has their name out public, and that's Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I do know Ring's real name. I would not dare repeat it. I know Lone's real first name, but I'm not going to repeat it publicly.
You know my name as well, Jeff.
I believe I do. I've forgotten it though. But I'm sorry, but I do know. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. An orange person.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if unfortunate or not.
I to be fair, I understand why you don't want that out there. Okay, that's fair enough. But there's still people in this community that I would be, of course, even friends with. I don't know their names for this reason. And David Silverman, I don't give a shit about his swing to the right on this one. Okay, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
That is irrelevant in this situation, whether he's on the left or the right or whatever. David Silverman has been around long enough to fucking know better.
You know what?
And he should know better than this.
I think I've got a contraption I'd like to show Mr. Silverman. If you'll
would you like to be full screen for this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, see, it's got this little crank here. The crank's stuck.
Yeah, okay. As I say, I might play him the old serenade on the trumpet here.
Yeah, here we go.
I can hold that note all day, buddy.
See, me personally, I always held him in immense respect. But yeah, I'd say he's a guy who's had a breakdown and has now shown his true colours of what he always was, a misogynistic prick that hasn't got a clue about life. Or he was obviously transported into the hierarchy of atheism and has just fucked himself up. And I'm not going to say that mud sticks, because obviously mud does stick, but I would totally say, because of his behaviour the last few years, that he is guilty of them sexual allegations.
Can I just ask? We don't speculate.
No, I won't. But as I say, that's just my personal opinion. He's welcome to sue me if he's watching this.
Yeah. Sue Dog, not me, David. All right?
Yeah, sue me.
Oh my gosh.
I think you're a dick, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to get into because they're disgusting things to even talk about anyway.
Yeah, I think he's a dick, and I've never trusted him. But that doesn't mean that I get sued. Those are just statements, feelings.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dog's saying you're speculating that they probably are true.
Well, yeah, I'm going by the UK Section 5 Public Order Act law of free speech.
Yeah.
Which obviously needs reformed. And I'm not a self-appointed. Well, yeah, no, I am. I'm self-appointed myself to say that David Silverman is a bellend.
Actually, no, I won't highlight. I won't highlight that particular retweet because that person's not a public figure by the look of it. But okay. So, but Zuby, on the other hand, is kids in 1995, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Adults in 2021, words are literally violence.
Yeah. What the frick?
You gotta fight like hell, or you don't have a country anymore.
Oh gosh.
I have the best violence, the greatest violence.
I will say
fantastic violence.
There are some
tremendous violence.
I will say that there's some people on the more batshit ends of the left identity politics scale that will argue that words are literal violence, and make real dumb arguments about it. But we are really talking about the People's Front Judea types of our side here, the real.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to mention any of them by name, but
yeah.
Not the Judeans People's Front, then.
Fuck off with the People's Front of Judea.
We're like words, words do have an impact, or how I like to put it, it's best to, the freedom of speech is a great power, and I like to live under the creed of Uncle Ben. With great power must also come great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And boil your rice for 3 minutes.
They do say that the tongue is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm noticing a bit of a trend with these tweets at the moment. They all seem to be about how they're successfully secularizing the right wing. That seems to be this one says, I get the breadth of the atheist movement, but if you're an atheist activist and you're shitting on our successful work on the right, you're a bad atheist activist, you're a woke activist. Atheism is more than you, your side, and your tribe. Watch and learn, but be silent.
What the fuck?
No.
Silverman's one click away from QAnon.
Yeah.
Basically.
I like this one. Steve Bellman says, "Hey, remember the time at CPAC when they brought that golden idol of their gods here? It was literally just yesterday. I'm not an atheist activist, but I know how to recognise a cult when I see it." Obviously, Atheists for Liberty were a bit at CPAC. This is what is all this is about. And obviously making out that they're having.
What the hell were they doing there?
Obviously, according to them, secularizing the right. Did you know what the C in this one of the C's in CPAC actually stands for? Right,
conservative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we just have to end the stream and shut up because because we're not David Silverman.
No.
Definitely not conservative either.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
I prefer the conservatives stay on the right.
But it just seems like he's going on and on and on about this particular thing. That obviously the one group that will actually hire him now, which is Atheists for Liberty.
Which anytime I see Liberty, I just think of Liberty Hangout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fact that AAI didn't even fucking keep him says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I get the feeling they were more or less bloody shamed into getting rid of him. To be honest, but the fact that even an organisation with as little self-awareness as Atheist Alliance International had the good fucking sense to think maybe being associated with this guy isn't the fucking.
So, I will say one little thing in Silverman's defense. Trying to wean the GOP off fundagelical cream is a noble endeavor. It is a futile endeavor, but it is a noble endeavor.
Yep, I agree.
We get more of these things. I might actually just highlight this because there's so much hate from so many clueless bigots calling me so many names. I pity the bigoted woke left. I do have to respond because this is Ricardo, obviously, who's been a somewhat regular on these things. Was not the contempt you chose to cause your pity would go unnoticed. Here, have a golden calf.
Nice, Ricardo.
What the hell? What the fuck is he trying to? Hold on. Someone says bigoted and woke are polar opposites. Sparky. All whites are racist is bigotry. Duh. What? Who the fuck has actually ever said that?
Him?
Yeah.
Apart from him.
The only one that brought up racism. Come on.
Come on, he's building he's a straw man, David. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's basically the straw man of critical race theory, of the position of, hey, we haven't solved racism. There's still systemic problems that we need to fix. You're saying all white people are racist then. Oh, you're saying all men are misogynist.
Mm.
Well, if they look like David Silverman, I mean. No, he's
right. Okay.
Oh, you're saying all straight people are homophobic.
No, because everyone's part gay.
Yeah. Lol.
All super straight people. Homophobic.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for this guy to do super straight shit, to be honest. Lol, sending me shit about wokists calling me names, people who do nothing, criticizing me, whining about progress, yawn. It's just Jimmy Snow actually responds to me. I do more than you. I also think you're a piece of shit and you should leave. Ouch. I mean, I gotta say, I do not agree with Jimmy Snow a lot of the time here, but I can argue with that one too much.
Yep.
Yeah, Jimmy Snow's an acquired taste.
Yeah, I don't watch Jimmy. I mean, to be honest, I think he's a clout chaser. That's just my opinion. But times I will agree with him. He's certainly less cringeworthy than this fucker.
I like his older content.
Yeah, I liked him when he started. I'm sort of like you on that.
Well, who was it I discovered just a couple of weeks ago? Jimmy Dore. I like him. He's funny.
I have to check him out. Don't know him.
He used to be on the Young Turks.
Yeah.
And then he left them because he hates.
I just I got a little bit pissed off with the whole. How many times can you respond to fucking girl to find in Paul and Morgan, and especially seeing his
Morgan show.
Yeah, especially seeing his like Jesus, Jimmy, you're just copying shit that Jacqueline Glenn did a year ago. On these people. Well, that's my main sort of nerve with Jimmy, but it doesn't mean I disagree with him about everything though. Look at this. I will actually highlight or retweet this one. Fuck your ideology. He's retweeted Michael Sherlock here.
Of
with
course.
A great big long. I did a stream about Sherlock's resignation letter from AAI.
You'll have to tell me who that is because I don't know who that is.
Okay, Michael Sherlock was the president of Atheist Alliance International.
He was the one who used the R slur on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one, and he got into a bit of an argument with Mrs. Casey, G's wife.
Yep.
And I thought, and to be fair, I thought Casey was being fairly reasonable, just sort of like, hey, you might want to consider rephrasing this. It wasn't like an attempt to cancel him.
Yeah.
But he just went and been a complete dick. And then he went out and Blazer Sour Grapes accusing both Hemant Mehta and KC of sabotaging an attempt by AAI to to actually intervene on behalf of someone who was like facing long prison sentence of like blasphemy laws in Africa somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Sherlock was accusing Hemant Mehta and Casey Gleason of directly being involved with the sabotage of that. Here's the thing, I won't show them here because they were sent to me in confidence, but Casey Gleason actually watched the stream we did covering that because I think you were on their ring. She sent me some of the fucking receipts and said basically Michael Sherlock's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some receipts. Casey actually did send me some stuff which pretty much confirms that Michael Sherlock's full of shit.
Yeah.
So, but I won't show them because I don't have permission to show those DMs. So
That's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
It's just a little personal rule of mine. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Let's see what he's banging on about here. Okay. So this one, he's quote tweeting someone. It says, could have made the same statement with "I hate bigoted woke" and left a political alignment. By stating left, he only means he does not hate the bigoted woke right, or does he believe it even exists? I'll take quote unquote great examples of woke avoiding criticism.
I'm pretty sure most of the right is practically narcoleptic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that someone here, this guy's replied to him and says, "Do you have some flat earth to defend, David?" ?
Nice.
I like that. I did like that one.
Yeah.
But also, better wokest than focused.
Mm.
Yep.
Focus.
Focus.
Okay. Oh boy. God damn it. Oh, have we lost Dog?
Yeah.
Dog's back.
Oh yeah, my internet dropped out for a sec there. Don't know why.
It must be Vodafone.
5G, I think.
Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
you're gonna start getting migraines and get cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you may have a slight echo there, Dog. I don't know. Oh no, it seems to have sorted itself out now, but.
Oh, I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that.
David S. referred to the woke left because they claim to be leftist, but in reality they're not. They've abandoned Enlightenment values and allied with extreme right-wing Islamists. The woke left have betrayed the left. The woke are not the political left. David Silver, my minor disagreement, you Nazi, also kind of right.
Oh, God.
He's just all sorts of wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is how you don't do satire.
Yeah, it takes a lot to call somebody a Nazi.
Especially from someone with a Jewish background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You just throw that around,
But I mean, there were fine people on both sides in Charlottesville.
Oh no.
I don't even remember that guy's name, whatever it was that went shot up that church.
Oh, he's but yeah, I what I'm saying I don't get is this the person who's retweeting there is sort of saying about how are like the far left in bed with far right extreme like Islamic extremists? What the fuck is he trying? They even trying to? I mean, I've got a thought on this, and I'll address it in a second. But
yeah.
But anyone got any other thoughts on this before I say anything?
So, if you have a look at Silverman's tweets in general, they're either far left or he's either agreeing with the far left or he's agreeing with the far right. He doesn't know where he's coming from himself. I mean, these are classic signs of a fucking idiot.
Well, so I think that, that tweet, about far left wokists aligning with Islamic extremists is probably like maybe the whole, if you think people who, if you think people who are Muslim are people and deserve some dignity, then obviously you side with ISIS. Kind of logic.
That is kind of where I think where they're going with this. Now, here's the thing. We have got to, it is foolish to not acknowledge that, especially since 9/11, there has been a backlash against Muslims, which a lot of it being unfair.
Yeah,
I think that we've got to acknowledge that. We do have to acknowledge that extremism within that religion is a problem, and it needs to be confronted. But at the same time, this is what I've said. At the same time, right? I could have like disagreements with, like, say, a local imam about religion and Islam's view. View women have treated in Islam. I could sit there and have a great big debate and a hugely big argument with a local imam about that. However, if somebody like the English Defence League are turning up at his mosque to spew hate and threaten people, have we lost Jenny?
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, I am going to go down there, and Jenny's back. I am going to go down there and show solidarity with the Muslim community who were under attack there. Absolutely. I think you can. This is the thing. You can have a critique. You can be critical. You can have big disagreements, but you can form united fronts against a common enemy at times. Yeah. Which Silverman should fucking know. He's been an activist as long as he fucking a professional activist as long as he fucking says he's been. Should know that. Now he's trying to make out that his whole dealing with the bloody CPAC is that kind of that's what he's doing, which is bollocks, because that's not what he's doing at all.
Also, I'm fairly certain, that if he likes to stand, if he would like to stand by the principles that he's agreeing with in this tweet, that he would like America to not be involved in a proxy war run by the Saudis. But that's basically what we've been doing since 9/11, is fighting a proxy war on behalf of the Saudis.
Of course we have. Hate to tell you, we were doing it a long time before that too, but...
Well, I do have to agree with Jeff. I mean, regardless of beliefs, a person is a person, regardless of what they think, or if they're being attacked wrongfully by a racist or whatever, then it's down to the humanists to step in and protect that person.
Well, the thing is, as well, is that if you do show solidarity against the people who hate against their communities as well, you do find the doors a little bit more open for you to have arguments with them and disagree. Do you find that you might have an audience that's a little more receptive? Now, I know Silverman's going to turn that around and say that's kind of what he's trying to do with CPAC or whatever, but he's clearly not. And he's taking credit for having a success there based on one fucking graph that does not establish anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's anything really. You can look at if you saw a guy getting beaten up by a bunch of gays, and you stepped in, to help him, does not make you homophobic. But people do see, look at it that way. I mean, there's a thing going about Twitter now. If you mention Mohammed and his 6-year-old wife Aisha, Islamophobic,
I
it's got nothing to do with that.
That's a difficult one. The reason I find that a difficult one is a lot of people who are genuine Islamophobics go to that as an instant bash. It's not a very it's not a very nuanced sort of criticism. I mean, because this is the thing, Britain First used to go to that that all the time. That was their big go-to, was the part about the prophet with that wife of his,
or
Aisha.
You can critique what the Israeli government is doing to the Palestinians without being anti-Semitic.
Imagine that. Hey, anybody in the Labour Party right now who's in the leadership of the Labour Party, imagine that just for a second.
I don't know. I've been called an anti-Semite because I'm like, no, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing to the Palestinians.
That's generally because you've got a certain. I've got to be careful how I phrase this, but you do have a certain, should we say, Israel apologist type that will use that as a shield.
Yeah,
I've got to be very careful how I word that because that'll get taken out of context if I don't.
But
work that
of course, Silverman's busy palling around with, the people who are sucking up to the people who want Israel to be a thing, because then God will bless America and then also the world will end.
Okay. The next one. This is a retweet, right? Okay, but because he's a public figure and a bit controversial figure in his own right, I will read this. He's retweeted Lawrence Krauss here, and he says, to make sarcasm clearer, re Dr. Seuss cancellations. The Old Testament is so terribly racist, and is also terribly racist and sexist. It's also violent and inappropriate for children. I do hope whoever owns the copyright will consider stopping publication of that hateful group to protect young people. Now, can't say I disagree with that, to be honest.
Fun thing. The worst version, the King James version, is in the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, And I just want to be clear, and I think Krauss was being a little sarcastic here about that, because we all know that there was the Dr. Seuss books were not cancelled. They were not. This was a decision made by the publisher that they're going to take them out of circulation, maybe maybe sort of edit them or touch them up a bit, so they're a bit more palatable. I don't necessarily know if that's the right approach or not. Noodle and I touched on this briefly on our Asterix stream the other day, because people who watch the Asterix streams will know that some of the artwork in them does not hold up too good. But I don't know necessarily, do we take them out of circulation and retouch up the images, or do we, like someone suggested, put some, like Warner Brothers did with some of their old Looney Tunes cartoons, put a little bit of a disclaimer in there at the beginning that, hey, these are sort of some attitudes at the time that were held at the time, but we don't endorse this nowadays.
Even that I disagree with, because I am anti-censorship. You don't burn books. But these are how it was at the time. I don't think you need to have a disclaimer. I don't.
Though, like, what we mean by a disclaimer is literally just like a little note at the front saying this was how it was at the time.
Yeah, but my concern is that you read it and they're like, well, I'm not going to read the rest of it because, maybe I'm going to get labeled as being this, that, or the other. So then it's basically censorship. There are people who won't read it for a disclaimer. I'm going to get off my soapbox about this.
I think we've shared it a number of times in the description of some of our Asterix streams. There was a very poignant article in the New York Times about how we deal with sort of racism in some of these books, and it is you've got maybe you need to sit down and you do don't necessarily stop your kid from reading it, but sit down and talk with them about this and why this thing's wrong, and maybe where some of the history of it came from, like with some of the attitudes of French colonialism, for example, in the Asterix books, some of the holdover from that.
And I will say, so I'm not in the specific case of the Dr. Seuss books. Of the 6 Dr. Seuss books that are actually the more obscure titles and thus not selling as well. So that was probably as much of, motivator as anything else, because, no one spends money like outraged conservatives.
Yeah.
But, specifically talking about the Dr. Yeah.
Imagine trying to do a child-friendly version of Aleister Crowley. Nerdy.
So, specifically talking about the Dr. Seuss books, I'm not too fussed about them cleaning up the illustrations. Because one, Dr. Seuss is very much marketed as, Kitty's first reader. So we're talking very, very young children here.
Yeah.
2, for the most part, that out of the ones I can think of, you can clean up the problematic illustrations without changing the context of the book.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Yeah.
Well, we had that sort of thing in the UK as little as 2 decades ago. Jeff will know. When I was growing up, the reading was Peter and Jane. I don't know if Jeff remembers them.
Oh, I've heard it might be yeah, I don't think I came across that one. But
and and also point 3, the books have been out for 60 plus years. If you want, if you want a version with the problematic, illustrations, it's probably not going to be too hard to track one down. I mean, it may be covered in crayon, but
but also erasing history so quickly, racism and misogyny, it begets the reason why you're there in the first place.
Well,
you
could also release a collected, original version for those who want to hold that, who want to have that piece of history. But if you're talking mass produced for little kiddies, I'm okay in this specific instance. I'm okay with touching up some illustrations because there's ways to preserve the originals. And heck, the originals are probably also already in, museums and in the Library of Congress. They're already accessible.
Wait, because I heard about it, but I didn't look at the articles. What are the illustrations that are so bad? Is it
back in 2 minutes, guys?
Or?
Yeah, it's like, for instance, from If I Ran the Zoo, it's like the really bad, pre-1960s depictions of African Americans.
Oh,
with the red, going full Little Black Sambo.
What? Yeah, like Song of the South.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With the big lips and the
purple gums and
yeah. And to think I saw it on Mulberry Street, there's a depiction, there's an illustration of a bunch of Chinese people in a parade, and Dr. Seuss got his start drawing World War II propaganda comics.
Oh.
So
yeah.
He became stereotypical.
Yeah.
To be fair. But isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that what brings about change? And erasing that history, it just makes
what
we've become pointless as far as I'm concerned. The history's there for a reason.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily being erased in this specific instance.
No.
We're not going all Big Brother and going with scissors and cutting out the illustrations of every copy that's ever existed.
What's that book, Fahrenheit? Where they burn the books? Is it Fahrenheit 451 or something, or 415?
Fahrenheit 451, yes.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, all that's happening is a few select titles are being taken out of print. Temporarily or not, I don't know for sure. And it was a decision made by the copyright, made by the Seuss estate.
Yeah.
Well, is this wokeness gone mad, or is it just people that are so insensitive to what's gone on that they're not immune to criticism at all, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Or they don't get criticism.
But so basically the reason why I'm okay with this is, one, it's still accessible and they could still release an original edition if they feel that there's a cry for it. Two, it's directed at children who are just learning to read. This isn't a case of, trying to erase history. This is a case of trying to show our children a better way forward. In my, because, at that age, children are very susceptible to indoctrination.
I get that.
They are sponges for everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Peter and Jane books I mentioned when I was a child. So I'm going back 45 years when I was reading, and these were two white privileged kids
mm-hmm.
who had white privileged backgrounds who got whatever they wanted, but it was written in children's form, and that's how we learned to read, was from a privileged standpoint. There was no black people in the books. There was nothing like that. There was no prejudice of any type. It was just white people doing white things.
Yeah,
whatever that means. But I think you understand what I'm on about.
Yeah. And Tusk, as far as I'm aware, there is one noticeable. There is one exception to what you're saying. And it's a rather notable exception in that, the exception I'm thinking of is Huckleberry Finn. But I don't really feel like I'm, culturally qualified to try and make that case, given my upbringing and my skin tone.
Well, no, you can still have an opinion.
Yeah.
So people, I don't know. Are we getting too careful? It's like, I can't say this because of the color of my skin.
It's more that it's more that I'd rather let the affected community speak for themselves.
Mm.
But kind of the way I see it, kind of the whole like Huckleberry Finn's entire character arc in that book is learning to see Jim as a person.
Yeah.
And the issue is, like, basically Huckleberry Finn has always been problematic.
Mm-hmm.
When it was written, it was problematic because it was written grammatically incorrect because Mark Twain wrote it from the perspective of an ignorant white Southern boy.
Yeah.
Now it's problematic because it's full of the N-word, because it's written from the perspective of an ignorant white Southern boy.
Mm.
Pre-Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tusk also made a good point, which from a standpoint of a person who says, but at the end of that, I'm not racist, but I'm not homophobic, but as soon as I hear that, I automatically see racist and homophobic. And also, they had mentioned Enid Blyton. She was the epitome of white privilege. They were famous 5 books and whatnot.
I never Jeff's back. I think we can get back on topic.
Yeah, no worries. But no, it's an interesting detour, that one, I think. Sorry, I had to step out because I just so people know, I should explain this on streams that sometimes it gets very painful for me sitting down for a while, and I have to take a break. It's a medical thing, so that's why sometimes I disappear off of streams. So, okay, now it looks like here he's having a big. He's retweeting somebody called Thomas here, who I think is an activist with Atheists for Liberty. It seems like he's having a feud here with PZ Myers. And he says, PZ is just another victim of woke poisons. Results be damned. Thomas is bad because Thomas isn't woke. It is what destroyed them. The old atheist movement has completely left the cause. I'm grateful to Thomas and others for picking up the baton. Okay, I mean, he goes on here. His reply speech. Agree. We were once friends, like PZ Morris and I were once friends. He was the first, and he was really good, kind of thing. He wanted to be the horseman number 5 really badly. Now he's just a hater, like all the rest. Wokeism is a religion. Like all religions, it makes good people go bad. So he's getting into it with PZ Myers here. Any thoughts on that? I don't really know PZ Myers that well, so I
don't either. I couldn't tell you,
Same. I don't have really much stats for that one.
Yeah, I know PZ was, from what I gather, was sort of involved with the Atheism Plus thing that was about a few years ago, I think. I'm not even entirely sure on that. But to be honest, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing if PZ Morris doesn't want to be mentioned as part of like the Horsemen anymore, to be honest. Because I suppose I've got my issues. I've got some issues with Dennett and Harris. I've got major issues with Dawkins. And to be honest, I always had issues with Christopher Hitchens. As great as some of his like destruction of like religion could be at times, I'm kind of glad to see people in the atheist community who are not treating these people as supreme authorities anymore on stuff. Because Christopher Hitchens, to me, he had some seriously fucking bad takes on shit.
Well, he was anti-theist, wasn't he? So that was just.
He was also. I mean, he was a bloody massive. He's a bloody massive cheerleader for Tony Blair during like the whole Iraq thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the one time I think I really saw Hitchens get completely spanked in a debate was with Tariq Ali, who's an atheist himself, but he's Tariq Ali's a Trotskyist, but it was a debate on like the war on terror or something. And I think personally, I felt Tariq Ali fucking spanked Christopher Hitchens in that.
Well, he was in the mindset as a theist, Hitchens. So if you presented evidence that God didn't exist to a theist, they would deny it. And the same if you presented Hitchens, if God did exist to him, he would deny it. That's.
Well, the thing with Christopher Hitchens is, I mean, the thing is, why I say this is that I noticed a few years ago, and I kind of became an atheist again after a little stint as a polytheist. I just saw the absolute like reverence in the community for Hitchens that he was just completely unquestioned. And I'm kind of glad that isn't a thing anymore. And it's a similar thing with Dawkins.
Well, probably because he's dead.
Yeah, but I'm sort of like, but I think people are realizing now, Hitchens had some bad takes on stuff. Richard Dawkins has a lot of bad takes on stuff.
Yeah.
I think you had a great, because you know my personal opinion on the Catholic Church, Jeff. I think he had when he did that, Stephen Fry.
Oh yeah, I will say
against Theresa May.
It was against I forget the name. It was a Catholic Archbishop, and it was
Theresa May. Anne Widdecombe. Yeah, sorry, so it was against Theresa May.
Fucking Widdecombe.
It was Anne Widdecombe. And I will say, that is one of my favourites. I mean, for an absolute, just absolute destruction by a pair of atheists against a pair of theists.
I love it.
It is one of the best things I've ever seen. And I mean, the fact that they actually did a poll going into this thing of where people stood on the proposition originally, and it was about, I don't know, I think it was sort of somewhat 60-40 in like Hitchens and Fry's favour going in, and it was something like 80-20 or something in their favour when they did the exit of the poll and it was the fact that really that even the audience at the time, a good 20% of that audience was swung by Hitchens and Fry, and to be fair, you had Anne Widdecombe did no favours whatsoever in that.
Well, yeah, she did no favours anyway in reality. But you got to admit, 20% of that audience were also nuns and priests.
Yeah.
So yeah, but as I say, as an argument, I think he rules in that sort of conditions.
Okay.
But, yeah, he did have some mad theories on religion, which
we'll do a few more of these then before we call the stream to a close. Okay, critical race theory, cresting bigotry to counter fake bigotry. The stupid as shit. That's his tweet. Any thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I kind of agree with the last line in regards to the entire tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Had it with me.
I mean, I don't know how do you get your big main message and goal across with just saying that?
I don't get it. It's like
exactly.
Okay, I'll just do another one then. The only real racist threatening this country are the bigoted woke left. Fuck all racism, especially the racism of the woke.
Well, that one sentence from all racism, yeah. But that's pretty much it.
Right under that, right wingers are literally yelling, "You will not replace us." Showed up to the Capitol wearing Holocaust shirts. Had Stephen Miller writing white supremacist stuff for Breitbart. Steve King called himself a nationalist. Even the Republicans took his power. A few examples.
Yeah, that's where I was going to kind of go with my response to this, actually, was... David, did you not see what the fuck happened on January the 6th? Okay? Yeah. Have you not seen what's gone on in your own fucking country over the last 4 years? The only real racist threatening the country were the woke left. Yeah, it was the fucking woke left in Charlottesville, wasn't it, eh? That did that shit. It was the fucking woke left that stormed the Capitol.
Yeah.
As much as
Sorry, just a second. David Silverman. Well, can I make that any clearer? David. Fuck you. Sorry, Jenny, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, as much as there's claims that, the far left were part of the, the whole riot, but it's not. It's already been debunked.
But, yeah, in American and then again in British in case you're bilingual.
Okay. Now he goes on to say the thing about not being white, but it's 100% Nazi Jew is I chuckle when a lifelong victim of anti-Semitism, I just don't bitch about it, calls out bigotry and I get called all the names of groups who hate me. White supremacists hate Jews too, but wokeism is shit. #CRT is racism.
I'm not sure, but I think all I hear is I like being a token. I like being a token. I am a useful idiot. Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Well, he obviously has embraced this wokeism, which I find pointless anyway. I just find it, wokeism is nonsense thing. But I can say, I'm trying to think of the words. It's more relevance and people realization not wokeism. I think that people are working out. But if they want to call it woke, let them call it woke. But to realise that David Silverman is a knob, then yeah, I'm woke proper.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, woke isn't sort of necessarily a label I personally identify with. I almost feel it's almost like something the right now uses to like as a label to bash people on the left. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well,
like they were using SJW a year or two ago. You know,
I wouldn't really say it's something to bash the left. I think it's something that's basically a thought-stopping technique / way to immediately dismiss anything that has any hint of progress.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I say, I just find it's sort of a realization thing rather. But if you want to call it wokeism or woke, then yeah, let them. I don't care. I just find it people who embrace this woke stuff, pricks.
Okay, now he's quote tweeting Greg Abbott here, and it says, "I'm joining Senator Brian Hughes to announce a bill prohibiting social media companies from censoring viewpoints. Too many social media sites silence conservative speech and ideas to trample free speech, un-American, un-Texan. Soon it will be illegal." It says, "Sorry, lefties, the righties are right on this one. Social media is a public accommodation, a modern-day public square. They have too much power to ignore, no matter what side you're on. Freedom of speech, like due process, is not just a legal right, it's a good idea." The thing is, once again, social media platforms are private companies.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're supporting the deprivatization of an industry, or the nationalization of an industry. What a left viewpoint.
Yeah. You call me now, Dave.
Well, again, he's bouncing from right to left as he normally does.
I'm trying to find like one more tweet to
dog, I think that's more like I think it's more along the lines of accidentally left wing. Where a conservative person will say something that's like accidentally supports the left because it's something that the left.
Can I go back a little bit to where Ring give the two-fingered V sign, the British sign, where that originated from, Ring? In the olden days, they used to chop off the bow fingers from the archers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was the sign that says, "I've still got my fingers, fuckers."
Yeah.
To the enemy.
Yeah. I mean, according to legend, that was what happened. That they would cut off the fingers of the French. If they caught English longbowmen, they cut off the fingers so they couldn't fire the bow again. Yeah. Okay.
Little bit of history.
Okay, I think maybe we'll just do one more. We'll do one more, and I think we'll have to call it a day and start chilling and all that stuff. Okay, it says here he's quote tweeting someone else here. It says the woke can ignore arguments against ignore arguments against them, no matter how good or sophisticated. The woke cannot ignore one, being fired or otherwise being removed from positions of power and influence or sued, having their own fake logic turned against free stinging mockery. Silverman says, "I prefer the reverse order. EEK, evil racist white people are going to say words which are violence because you disagree. run from the evil racist white people who are all racist, but I'm not racist for saying that people of one race have a common negative trait. The fuck is wrong with this man?
It's just bitterness, isn't it?
I would while away the hours conversing with the flowers.
He just sounds really bitter. After his fall from grace, I think he's had a total breakdown.
I think there's a one of the things that was mentioned there about being fired or sued. That thing, that's a bit. I mean, I'm sure that's a little bit of a. I'm sure he is bitter about being canned by American Atheist. I'm sure he's incredibly bitter about that. And the fact that that his name has been dragged through the mud. Now, as I said, I don't want to get into the allegations or whatever. He's maintained his innocence.
As Nick Fish says, he was canned from American Atheists through a lack of confidence.
Yeah, and so I guess really because that could be a good little point because I'm going to have to get on to summing up now here really.
Okay.
And I guess final thoughts on David Silverman. I'll go around the room. Jenny, do you anything you want to say to sum up to all this?
My only question was define innocence. Taken away.
Yeah. Okay. Dog, anything you want to sum up on David Silverman?
I think he as I say, I think he's had some sort of breakdown. Obviously, alcohol fueled with a lot of his videos. He's had a fall from grace, and his true colours have shown of what he obviously was before all of this. Before he was a great guy at one point. I have to admit, he had a great attitude, great points to make. But now he's just. I don't put him in the league of Boba or Sorbo where I want them to die.
I don't want them to die. I just want them to fuck off.
No. Yeah, I want them to. I just want them to die. Them people, they just don't belong on the earth, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I think he's had some sort of breakdown, and it's shown what he is. He's a misogynistic prick. And
as long as he doesn't go to the left.
Well, he does. He goes to the left and the right. He just, controversy. There's an ability to being controversial, and he hasn't got it.
Okay. Lone Wanderer, you got any final thoughts on Silverman?
I think your mic's muted or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry. No, he's a twat. He's a twat, and I'm half past give a shit with him. No. Is he redeemable? No. Should we waste any more time on him? No. Next.
Ring.
Okay, so I'll say this. Normally I like to be charitable, but it seems to me like Mr. Silverman is, the atheist that Christians see all atheists as, the one who only wants to sin. Because if you leave religion, but keep all the toxicity, that the religion, if you leave Christianity, but keep all that toxic, latent Christianity, then why have you even left? Also, I'll say he's probably a 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, before you go in there, Catholic traditionalist, fuck off. You are not getting a link to this stream. You are not coming in here and running your fucking rip-off Darth Dawkins bollocks on me. I'm telling you now. I've told Daft Dawkins to fuck off. You can fuck off as well. You got you. Look now. I know people on. I know people on this. A lot of people on this panel don't particularly like Steve McRae. But I'll say this to you: Steve McRae handed your ass to you when you phoned into his show the other day. He handed his fucking ass to you. Pre-sup fucking bollocks. So fuck off.
Also,
you're not. No, it's like actually. Hold on. No, it's not about being cowards. This is about you. Daft Dawkins. You guys seem to think you can just come into anyone's fucking chat and anyone's fucking stream and demand to be let in, even when the subject is nothing to fucking do with you.
Oh wait,
it fucking isn't. I'm not wasting my time debating people who are fucking dishonest, because I know Darth is dishonest. I've had dealings with him. He's a dishonest fuck. You just parrot him, so you can fuck off.
Can I say something to a Catholic traditionalist?
Woosah, Jeff.
Yeah. So, Catholic traditionalist. You can easily obliterate the position. So this stream is about how David Silverman sucks. So you think David Silverman is the greatest then?
Yeah, exactly.
You came on a stream where we're ripping apart an atheist. If there was a wrong time for this is it.
Can I also say a couple of things? Actually, Jeff, I've actually warmed up again to Steve McRae. He's actually okay again now. But Catholic traditionalist, I was religiously injured by the Catholic Church, and I have done nothing but study the badness in that religion. You could never, ever put my atheist down through Catholicism, ever. I can go back through popes who embraced childhood, saying that sex with young boys was okay, to things like whore jousting.
Let's try and keep this from getting removed from YouTube, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Pope Boniface VIII had his own level of hell in Dante's Inferno. That's how bad. And ironic. Well, Inferno was an ironic comedy by Dante. How mental that religion is. It's caused more death and destruction on this planet than anything, than nuclear war. As the Catholic Church, the death of the Muslims and Jew, the hatred of this is a whole new stream. Jeff, can I just make one suggestion quickly for these streams that you do? Can we do Ken Hovind and have Ring in on the Kent Hovind one?
Apart from Kent Hovind doesn't tweet too much.
Well, his tweets is shit anyway, so you can go back to his tweets from years back. As long as Ring is there, and if they block their face out and just put a picture of him in his Hawaiian shirt and change the name to Ken Hovind Double or whatever, I will die a happy man.
Yeah. Anyway, we were in the process of summing up before that dickhead came into the chat. And I'll say this: I'm not against talking to someone who's religious or has a different position than me. I've done that on this channel. I had a good hour-long conversation with my friend Gavin, who's a Christian, on this channel. I'm not going to have discussions or quote-unquote debates with dishonest interlocutors. Catholic traditionalists, you've been fucking... There's a reason the ACA won't fucking let you call into their shows anymore. And I got to say, I know a lot of people do not like Steve McRae or whatever, but I gotta say, he handed his fucking ass to Catholic traditionalists, and Catholic traditionalists rage quit in about 2 or 3 minutes because he knew he was out of his fucking depth there. So that's all I've got to say about Catholic traditionalists.
To everyone watching this, Catholic traditionalist loves David Silverman in a most Catholic way.
Apparently,
it feels like Catholic traditionalists would like to know David Silverman biblically.
Yeah, no, you're wrong there.
Hold on, one of my friends, who's a guy I don't always agree with, is on politics. Chris Attlee, atheist pastor, debated Darth and handed his Darth's fucking ass to him.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think he. No, fuck him. He gets a timeout. Fuck him, because I'm putting him in a timeout. He's not getting a I'm not banning him, but I got to sum up on the actual topic of what this stream is supposed to be about. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, like, does Catholic traditionalists know what we're talking about? And like, why call us cowards for this?
Yeah, this is not because this.
Does he even know who I am?
Catholic traditionalists wouldn't love David Silverman in a biblical way because David Silverman's over 14.
Yeah.
He wants to have his babies.
Yeah. Anyway, that dickhead's taken. I've timed him out. I've not banned him. I've timed him out because this stream is not about him. And this, it is one of these things that he and Darth think they can just show up in anyone's stream and be demanded fucking let in. That's not how fucking discourse works. So that's all I'm going to say about you guys.
I got a new name for Darth Dawkins. He's Karen.
Yeah, I'm going to put myself full screen for something. Okay, I'm going to sum up on David Silverman. It is a pity. This was a guy, I used to kind of look up to a few years ago and think he was a good advert for our community. He's not anymore.
No,
he's not. I said I don't want to get into the accusations or whatever. Whether you did them or not, David, to me at this point is irrelevant. It's the attitude you've had since coming back. Now, I understand if you're a bit bitter about this, about the way you were treated. I can even understand that. But I could not possibly join an atheist organization with you as one of the representatives of it.
Not on your.
Because I do not feel you represent me as an atheist, as an atheist or an activist. You don't represent me personally. I can't speak for everyone, but that's how I feel. I could not possibly contemplate joining any group you are affiliated with. You've become absolutely toxic and counterproductive. And even the things you were crowing about as like little victories that we've gone through on here, there's no goddamn evidence for. So that's kind of all I've got to say about you, David. I'd like to think you're redeemable. I don't think you are at this point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you are at this point. But I cannot possibly be a member of any organization that hires David Silverman. I did not want David. I do not want you representing me as an atheist. That's as clear as I can fucking say it.
Well said.
Yep, here, Jeff. Here.
Okay, so
David needs to step back and take a look at the bigger picture, the even bigger picture.
Yeah. Okay. Quick shilling round the room. Jenny, got anything to shill?
Yeah, I just recently posted a video, so if you want to take a look at it, you can. I'll be, I think wrapping things up myself, and taking a break before summertime. So, before I do that, I would like to get a few interviews of the converters and stories. So pretty much what Neil does, but of course, on my channel for those who watch, my channel. And subscribe to Jeff.
Thank you very much. Dog, got anything you'd like to share?
I'll be lurking in chats. That's all I can say. You'll be privileged if I'm on your channel. I had some glamour. That's it. I haven't got nothing to share. I'm hoping to start the Gospel According to Dogs soon. But
could be the dog cast.
Well, I'm hoping to live stream it eventually and get the whole community involved. That's the idea. Well, obviously, I'm going to have to put a few test videos out and feelers and see what feedback I get. And if it's good enough, we'll get you'll certainly be invited, Jeff. Ring, definitely. Well, everyone will have a chance to come on and have their say and do their bit. And hopefully it'll just be a giggle. Because I'm all about the fun these days. There's nothing good in life at the moment. So may as well just make the most of it and have a laugh.
Lone Wanderer, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Just the usual Word of the Day series. I try to put it out about 12 o'clock Central. That's 1 o'clock Eastern every day, but some days I forget and I'm late. But I will be going to put that up here in a few minutes. So
I'll just say, if you've not subscribed, if I've got one of my mods in the chat, Robert's not there. Someone post the link to Lone Wanderer's channel, please. Lone Wanderer's I think his channel is very underrated, and just to take you maybe a minute of your day to listen to one of Lone's videos. And just improve your vocabulary a little bit.
Yes.
I've certainly learned a few new words. I'd do something similar, but mine will be with swear words.
What does vocabulary mean, Jeff?
No, I defer to you.
Vocabulary. It's the words you use more than Donald Trump.
Obviously, I have to concentrate on my vocabulary. It's not very good at the moment.
Hello, Dave. I didn't know you were lurking in the background.
But yeah,
Dave is a lurker.
Yeah. Okay. Ring.
So on Saturday, I have secular D&D, and then this Sunday, which is Pi Day, we will be covering Hero, the rock opera, on Medium Musings. And I am still 26 away from the embarrassing stories stream.
Okay. I would just say, is there something else you might want to possibly plug if people want to hear you do your Kent Hovend?
Oh, yeah.
A little more towards the end of the month?
Yeah. I'll announce the time later, but and on the 28th of March, you can watch me, Kent Hovind, whack 3 atheists, godless, Sam Kent, and ex-cult baby, my compound land.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. That's just fucking awesome.
There's a one-shot D&D campaign. I'm still a novice to D&D, as Ring knows, but we are going to be invading Dinosaur Adventureland in the hope that we will recover Kent Hovind's tax returns.
That'll be a good one.
Okay, for myself, Sunday I have the Asterisk stream coming up. Now, I may also, if I am bored this Saturday, I might stream another watch along Six Nations game thing, which I did couple of weeks ago. I've got nothing better to do, but I'm not.
You're Wales again at the weekend, Jeff.
It's England, France, I think, but so I may possibly do that, but I'm not plugging that right now. The Sunday of Asterix with Noodle, then I'll be probably almost certainly be on Media Musings with Ring afterwards. I don't have a Twitter stream scheduled for next week, but I may just do maybe possibly next Wednesday, depending on who's up for it. I might do something because I did it last year, a St. Patrick's Day hangout where we can maybe just have a drink and a chat kind of thing. So I might do that.
Oh, I'm not sure when it will be, but the way the polls are going, it looks like people want to watch me build the map for the Dinosaur Adventure
I
Land
do.
raid.
I want to see that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So probably sometime next week, but
will there be more original Coke involved? Ring. Ring, will there be more original? Because I remember seeing one with Geo Sam when they were all coked up on original Coke. Oh, and drugged up popcorn.
Possibly. We'll just have to see.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring this stream to a close. Thanks, sir, everyone who's taken part. I want to say a quick thank you. Obviously, I haven't had the banner up, but quick thank you to my patrons. Two of them are here right now, which is Dog and Jenny.
Well, Ox is in the chat.
Thanks to Ox, and thanks to Gary Priestley, who I think have both been in the chat at some point today. So big thanks to you. Thanks to you guys for coming in and helping me with this. I greatly appreciate this. And I'll say thanks to you, David Silverman, for being such a dick that we could get 2 hours worth of content out of your Twitter. So with that, so see you guys later. Salute.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
Everybody.
All right.